Testing 1 2. Okay. Got it. Okay. Oh, hang on a second, Pete. I lost. 1 second. I lost audio.
Hey, you sound fine. I hear you. You're good.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Peter. Okay. Hey, Pete. That is the word from the control room that we are looking for, buddy. It is Saturday night. It is New Year's Eve. This is a special edition of the Rad Show. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining us tonight on this very, very special edition. Like always, like any good functioning show, we should have a proper intro, and we'll get things started with me saying welcome. My name is Mike, owner of Carryallrc. It is my honor and pleasure to be with you tonight. Now, if you're asking yourself right now, what is the Rad RC show? What is RC? I tell you to scroll along because this show is not meant for you. This is the lighter side of RC, the world of RC cars through our lens, seen through the lenses of two RC addicted dads, sharing a good time, sharing our adventures with you every step of the way. And like I said, this is a two-man team. None of this happens without the two of us working together side by side, week after week. And I am here tonight with my man, the co-host, my ride or die, the man of the hour, Peter. It's the end of the year, buddy. How the heck are you?
Hey, man, good to see you. Yeah, it's been a year. I sat today, reflected, just thought about this year and what you and I have accomplished, what you accomplished for Carryall, and all the brands we work with. You gotta be proud. I mean, we did a lot of good things. We grinded this year. If you sit back and reflect on all the brands we work with, the launch of the Rad Show, I mean, we did some great things this year. Carryall, we introduced a new team structure. You launched 2 new products this year, many sponsored events. Kudos to you as the owner. Carryall did a great job this year. Looking forward to next. Just a great year. I mean, the year, like I said in my post today, the year of the micro. Just a lot went on this year, and happy to start next year. A lot of good things for you and I to come. Things we're working on already, and let the viewers know thank you for all the subscribers. We're about 326 now. That 500 mark, we're going to get the FCX 24 still hot. So hopefully by the time we get to 500, it won't be yesterday's news. But yeah, keep sharing the page, like the Facebook. And yeah, New Year's Eve, here we are. We figure we get this in. We got a great guest. Welcome him back. I always love to see this guy on the show. He's got great things going on, good work ethic. He had a great year too. Excited to hear about his new product. And like always, we want to thank our sponsors that work with us throughout the week: Carryall, Treal Hobby, CowRc, Rebel RC, Mike, which I wore the hat tonight. We're going to talk about them tonight. They got some good things going on. Crazy Crawler Foams, Powerhobby 2.4 Designs, Crawler Pulp, RC Misfits, Scale Rat, KNK Hradware, Adventure RC, Wesmade, RC Prorack, FMS, Race Place Hobbies, Remote Control Hobbies, Orlando, and Real Sticky. And in the chat room, we got Skittles, Nitro 531. Thank you guys. And it looks like there's a lot more people in there, but thank you guys for joining on New Year's Eve. I know we'll jam this out and you guys can go to your festivities. But Mike, what a year we had. I mean, we definitely accomplished a lot. You accomplished a lot. Should be happy, man, going into 2023.
Yeah. Peter, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm having stupid audio difficulties over here with
You're
this
fine.
thing.
Don't
Trying
touch
to get
nothing.
it to upload. I'm going to try and use it without the mic for a second. Peter, well said. It's been a year. Recapping everything, it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you all year long. I'm really excited to end tonight, end the year with a bang. Get off as early as we possibly can to spend some quality time with our family, Pete. We stopped out earlier at the local seafood place. We picked up some crab legs, a bunch of little neck clams. We're going to hammer on that in a little bit. It'll be early enough to eat something, watch the ball drop, and get the new year started off right. And I think you and I were on the same page, Pete. As we get towards the latter part of the show, we can go back February, March, April. We were saying it, the year of the micro. I'm telling you, dude, the year of the micro, and FMS with this freaking monster truck, dude. Thank you for bringing us a bundle of fun in that freaking monster truck.
Oh man, this thing,
bro,
I still love it.
And the decals are brilliant.
Oh, yeah, that was a good. I like that too. I like
tailor-made for you, dude. Tailor-made. So like I said, I had trouble catching you. We do need to follow up on Rebel RC towards the end. I have a couple of things that we can talk about with Rebel, and them being at USTE this year. We'll probably pop over to the website tonight, Pete, take a closer look at some of the different body options that they have. And we'll do all that. But listen, Pete, if my microphone's cutting in and out, do your best to jump in here with Gabe. We do not need to hold this man's hand. This guy can talk. This guy's got the live stream. This guy's got the following, the base, this man can sell snow to an Eskimo. People want to follow the fun, and it's just organic, just this raw energy that comes from him. And this man takes no excuses. He's tried to help us along the way with support and advice. And I'm telling you, if I wanted to feed him a line of BS or something, he'll sniff it out right away and be like, no, how are we going to resolve that? How are you going to fix it? What are we going to do next? Like, no BS. He wants it done. He moves at the speed of light. And all the success that this man has, he has earned. So it will be our insane privilege to welcome him back tonight. Because it's exciting, Pete. He dropped a V4, the 4. Have you seen this thing on Facebook at all?
Yeah, I took a look at it, man. And the products, are just fantastic. I mean, every product drop that this man does is just fantastic. As he just popped in, Mr. Gabe, how are we, sir?
I'm doing really good, man. Mike, appreciate the intro, man. I'm humble, so I'm glad to be back. I'm really honored that you guys have me at the end of the year, and definitely want to show a new release. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much.
You are very, very welcome. And again, we're just honored to have you here. And honestly, an opportunity. I apologize. So this is something good that I think helps a lot of people. We just don't have the time to sift through Facebook all day long and keep up with certain things. So, I mean, to be able to sit here with you and actually hear it come from your mouth, some of the thought and the time and the R&D that's gone into this new product might really help a lot of people, and especially me. I will be so humbled to get this class. I've got my notes here. I've got a pen and paper handy. I'm ready to go to school and, maybe understand a little bit more what you're putting into a V4. And then ultimately, I would love to hear your take, your climate temperature and prediction for 2023, what your recap is on last year. What do you see for the future of the RC industry? I'm just excited to hear what you have to say.
Right on. Yeah. Well, that's a whole lot of questions in a row there. So I'll start out with the new release. You know, that's the
Yeah.
thing that people have been waiting to see for a long time, and I've known that. But you know, I've been going at my own pace, and I kind of touched on that last time we talked. And but I felt, you know, it's time and to do it this year. So you know, towards the, you know, first part of this year, we started talking about it as a team, and you know, came up with everything that we wanted to change from the TGH V3, or not change, just you know, make a little better. So we talked amongst the team, and we took some input and asked everybody what they've heard from basically the masses and followers and all the G speeders, because we're here not just for ourselves and what we want for these chassis. We want to please, you know, a lot of people, you know. So we wanted to evolve from the V3. We didn't want to go and reinvent, you know, the wheel and come out with something that was just totally different. And we just wanted to change a few things. And so the consensus was basically we needed more clearance under the truck. And that was we knew that for a little while. So this right here, I'm going to see if you can, yeah, you can see pretty good. So this here's the V3. So this is the original chassis right here. Very well, this is great design. Christopher Schumann from Team Radrcahow. This is a collaboration between my ideas and him and his drawing ability. So we came up with this in 2019. The first time this hit the dirt was on Christopher's truck at Nationals 2019, and it did well. And we went from there, and this thing took me to you know, 4th place at Nationals this year. So this thing performs, and it's going to stay around. And you know, people have this chassis built, and it's still going to do good. So it's not like everybody needs to ditch their V3 rigs and take them apart, which seems like massive amounts of people are doing right now. The V4 on, but you know, that's their prerogative. But if this is the chassis that's going to stay on your truck for a while, then it's proven it's going to do great. So what we did find with, you know, talking to the team is that it needed more clearance. We know we wanted a little bit more angle of the skid plate. So this original chassis here has a 5-degree skid. And then we changed the V4 to an 8-degree because that's what we felt. We felt that small amount of change was just what we needed on top of the other changes that we're making at the same time. You know, we just didn't want to go crazy right off the bat and put like a, you know, 13-degree angled skid on there, and then everything not work very well when you transfer your parts from this V3, because it is an evolution from this to the next version. We wanted most of the stuff still to work, and it does. So we now are coming to this is the V4. I mean, the GS V4. I'm going to go ahead and real quick put a couple screws right here to line them up, just so there's a comparison here. And I did post a picture on our fan page that shows a very good comparison of the differences, and people can go back to there. But so this is basically the 2 rails stacked, and we elevated the new chassis, which is blue, the GS V4, 5 millimeters. So the whole thing is up. Basically, if you use the same length shocks, which we recommend about 85 millimeter shocks, and same suspension links and your same size diameter tires, your whole ride height is going to be elevated 5 millimeters, which is tremendous when you know, you're going over some of them sharp breakovers. And we've done tons of testing with the V3 and taken this, you know, over sharp breakovers and scrutinized it and looked down and see, you know, what is holding us up from getting through this breakover, this gate. And we looked at the chassis and we said, you know what, we just have to do away with this part, you know, and modify it, which we did. So all of this pink part that you can see from your view is now gone. And it's, you know, cleared. It's got the angle of the skid is a little hard to see, but there is 3 more degrees there. and shock hoops are moved closer to the transmission, a little more options to lay your shocks down. And so that's pretty much it, you know, and this thing in testing for the last, I don't know how long we've been testing, for a few months, has just been doing phenomenal. Everybody's going to be, I know they're going to be totally stoked when they get their rigs put together.
Yeah, it looks great. The color pops too.
It does. Pete, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little muffled.
Muffled. All right, hang on one. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
fine.
that's better.
Better. Okay. Listen, Gabe, I hate to put you on a spot here, but I would like to know this. As you're holding the two chassis up, do you have a stock chassis, maybe a C channel from Axial SCX10 that I could see as a comparison, what we do in the lines?
I used to back in 2014.
Nothing nearby. Okay.
No.
What I'm starting to notice is this is a game of millimeters or
Oh.
even less, right?
Like, yes.
A millimeter change starts to make big differences.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, you're looking at the, you know, approximately 5 millimeters of material here. And,
yep.
You know, if this were to, you know, we're technical crawling over and through these gates, these competition, and going over these breakovers, and that little bit of, you know, pink right there, you know, gets in the way. And with that removed at the right height we're at now, it's just a nice smooth, you know, flow over it. So yeah, millimeters do matter. Well, what I didn't mention too about the chassis, and it now has the Team Garage Hack forward motor mount, 3 adjustable slots. So this now lowers the forward motor mount down 10 millimeters from the original location where we had it before, which is tremendous. If people want to do that, then they will need to have a little different link suspension, front suspension links, because their lower links are going to need to be straight. And then their upper link, third link, has got to be bent and rolled to the chassis, which basically, I'll just take my built rig. So basically, this upper third link, if you can see it, is actually bent and rolled to the chassis, and it goes right around the motor and the forward motor mount. Allow full compression of an 85 millimeter shock all the way up, and you can kind of see the compression as I you know, do it here. These links, the front links, are, you know, from Hardcore RC, and he went through and you know, we came up with these link bends where with the GMP Panhard mount and GLD and these AR45 axles, it can't work any more perfect than this. It is amazing. I'm so happy with how this thing is built. So that is that's the almost complete V4. This is going to be my new class 2 rig this year. I'm playing around right now with a prototype GLD laydown servo mount, which now has back mounting and front mounting, and then the back cross member, which you can't see. It's hard to see. I'll just explain it. It has holes in it so you can mount a winch behind the servo if you're not running a forward motor mount. So you can.
It's
mount
funny. We just got a comment. So what axles are those? Nice Treal axle.
These are very, very good quality Treal axles that I love, that I have on my my G-Shot, and I have them on I don't have my class 1, but I have them on my class 2, and I ran them all last year and part of the year prior, and they're amazing, you know. So they go together
good,
nice.
They look good on that truck.
Yeah, they do. Okay. So we all got to see that money shot in a very creative reel. You've gotten very good with your social media, the creative marketing, and being able to drop the bomb and come out with this new release using that new platform. I mean, it's not easy for us old guys to keep up with these kids today and this technology and how social media works, but good for you. Your reel caught my attention. I was like, that's different. This is unique. Nice. I need to know more. Does any of this V4 change have anything to do with SORCA rule changes at all?
No, not at all. Because it doesn't. I mean, the build of the truck is what you have to adhere to with the rules.
Okay.
The chassis itself is still legal, and I mean, as long as it's a flat rail chassis and it's long enough, and in class 2, there's not really a lot of limitations with the chassis rails. It's basically, how you build the rest of the truck. And in my opinion, and to start out, I'm not real familiar with the new rules yet. I've been kind of letting them evolve because it is a living rule set that can be changed, and it has. But here after the first of the year, I'll be, diving in there. We're going to have, team meetings and, talk about, this and that. But from just like listen to my team guys talk on the chat, the guys that have read it and also seen some posts and comments online, is a lot has to do with the actual body and the dimensions and the length and where the body lands with the wheels. And so, like I said, I'm not real fluent on it, so I'm not going to go ahead and quote anything, but it does have a lot to do with, like, in my opinion, so far, without me diving into it, the outside build of the vehicle, and how it goes together and how it's going to spec out when it's, complete with the body on and everything.
That's perfect. You answered exactly what I was hoping. Was the V4 was coming regardless of doing a change. So this is an evolution of Gspeed. You've made reference several times now. Before I say that next sentence, Peter, do your best to keep in touch with any of the questions coming in, because I guarantee you, Peter, somebody is going to have a way better question than I do. So I'm doing the best I can here to kind of be selfish and want to know more for my personal reasons. But if something comes in, Pete, make sure you chime in.
We got a question. That just
please.
came in. What's your ideal wheelbase for your rig?
12.5 is ideal for class 2, and 11 5/8 for class 1.
I'm writing down everything. So you mentioned several times so far tonight, right out of the gate, talking about your team. And this is some of your personal personality of not taking too much credit. You don't stamp yourself as the king, and you don't take any glory just yourself. So you surround yourself with teammates and a family of amazing other vendors that kind of come together. If I can name drop a few, the Team Garage Hack, Hardcore. I mean, some of the best customer service that you can possibly wish for. When getting links for a comp truck can be stressful to make sure did you get the right length and material. Hardcore went out of their way to hold your hand to make sure you got the right ones. And then when they come, they're color coded, they're marked with a piece of tape, so you know where they're going to go. I mean, just the experience is phenomenal. And I think that is a compliment. Mixing this is a compliment back to you for picking these right people and vetting them. And it's easy to recommend them, and it grows them. It's joint vendor growth, growing together. It really works because it's easy for me to recommend these brands. When you have good experiences with them, it's easy to tell a buddy, hey, hit these guys up. They'll take care of you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the vendors we have, and well, not just their vendors, they're friends of mine, and it is, you're right, Team Garage Hack and Hardcore RC, and another one is Three Brothers Racing, which is Tom Asher. We're all out to help each other out, and in what nobody sees behind the scenes is how much each of us pumps each other up, and I take good credit for that, and I know the other guys do coming back my way. But like, for instance, to give you an example, Hardcore RC, they weren't originally owned by Lance.
Correct.
They were owned by Team Garage Hack, Christopher Schumann, and then prior to that was Michael Newman for a long time. So it changed some hands, and Team Garage Hack has a whole lot of stuff going on, and he took the company, for certain reasons. I know, but I can't remember if they were public or not. So anyway, he got the company, and then I realized, because I worked close with Christopher with, you know, I wholesale, you know, I get parts from him to sell on my website, and I've got a huge demand, and I'm always on his ass about it. You got to have this stuff for me to purchase so I can sell it.
Restock.
So we're real close, you know, and we can tell each other how we feel and everything. And I knew how much business they had at the time at the, you know, peak of 2021 and COVID, when everybody decided to spend all their money on hobbies. That's when it was booming. And then going into 22, you know, they saw that they weren't going to be able to, you know, juggle both companies. So I recommended to my friends locally, and it was Dean Anrig also at the time bought it with Lance. I recommended to them, I say, hey, this company's open, you know, I'm, you know, here to support you guys, you know, I know Christopher, so I basically orchestrated it and got them together, and then Lance ended up buying it, and it stayed amongst people that, you know, we know, and especially me, because I wanted it to keep going, and I'm pretty sure, I think me and Christopher talked about this, and on social media, so people know, but Christopher originally got Hardcore and bought Hardcore to keep the support to our chassis, basically, you know, because if my chassis sells, then his transmission sell, and he had the Sherpa going, and he still needed links for his Sherpa chassis, so we needed to keep that company going, and he did. He kept it afloat, and then I still had the same feeling when he was a little overloaded, and I'm like, okay, well, who can take this on that is, you know, close to us, and we have a great relationship. And fortunately, I had a couple local friends here in the Bay Area, that was Dean and Lance, that were able to, you know, make it work and buy the company. And now they have it. And fortunately, Lance was able to keep it, and he has it now. And we work together, you know, awesome. He supplies me with all the G-Shot link kits that I offer on my website. You know, I'm not a link guy, but I do offer, everybody knows I offer the G-Shot package, and it is a proven platform that everybody loves, and this thing just climbs like crazy. It's the ultimate cheater, and he supplies me with the titanium and the stainless link kits for that. And I'm always like, I'm on Christopher, I'm on Lance too, about, hey, you need to have these rod ends ready and these links ready, because I'm going to be buying some more and more. And he knows it, but he's going through his growing pains because he moved to North Carolina, and he's getting it, dude. He's doing an awesome job, and I'm proud of him for taking it on himself and keeping the company. But that's just one small, you know, example of the rest of these companies that, you know, we deal with that are awesome, you know. And I'm not even partial to just, you know, I used to be partial to like different companies, like say just one servo company, you know.
Correct. Okay.
And one other company, you know, this and that, because I was a team driver for a lot, and I was in that area of the hobby. I don't want to see that level, because we're not you know, we're not underneath each other, but I was a team driver type.
Yep.
Well, not recently, you know, in 2020, when I started the website for Gspeedchassis, I started becoming now, you know, a supplier and a store and everything. And I wanted to be able to support all different manufacturers, you know, and I'm an ambassador for a lot of different brands. So, you know, I support Three Brothers RC, but you know what, there's other servo companies and electronics companies that I support also, that are actually personal friends of mine that I've met a few times at events, like Ships, you know, at Ryan. Ryan's awesome, man. And he's got, you know, a good product and a good following down Southern California, and a lot of good drivers, and some of them I know, and a lot of them run my chassis down there, Southern California. And he's got some good guys and good families down there that, you know, are in the mix. So it's just, yeah, I mean, the more we go out and support all these different companies and, you know, view them as equal, the stronger we're going to get, you know, and it's be easier to do business with them in the future.
We got a question that came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
What law of physics is the hardest to overcome with chassis design?
Law of
Exactly.
The customer's request. I don't know if you'd put that into physics, but you know, it's just there's so many things that can be changed with these chassis. Maybe to start out too, to kind of like, before diving too far into those type of questions, is I I think most of my following knows, but and Mike knows, I'm a union electrician, or kind of was. I haven't done it in over a year now because Gspeedchassis is my passion, and that's what I'm following now. But I'm not an engineer. I fortunately have surrounded myself with a lot of very talented engineers, and if not engineers, they are self-taught designers and can draw a lot of cool things. And a lot of guys like I have a team driver, Dan Thompson, that comes from the full-size crawler world and knows suspension and knows suspension links and geometry. And then I have Christopher Schumann that just has self-taught himself gearing and these transmissions. It's just amazing. I can't grasp it. So I am not the genius. I know how to drive, and I know what I have great ideas that I will tell them. I say, you know, this isn't doing this, you know, this, we got to change something. And then we go ahead and come together as a team and say, you know, this is what we want. And then I have my smart guys, you know, kind of route have it go through their mind and come up with different things and ideas that we can go off of, and then bring it to reality in a drawing. And then I fortunately have some awesome factories that I deal with that can prototype these pieces and chassis and then send them back, and we throw them on our rigs to see if they work and go. So that's kind of my backing. So if we can't get too deep into some you know, physics and stuff with me, because I'm just an electrician. But I'm now a business owner and you know, promoter, and you know, and I do well in that area, you know.
But it seems to make the most amount of sense to continue to get feedback from as many as you can. During the R&D process, you know, have 5, 6, 10 different people, because everybody's build is going to be different. Everybody's driving style will be different. How do you build one chassis when everybody's different? So it's getting input and feedback from everyone to kind of funnel into this perfect design, if you know, as close to perfect as you can be. And again, Gabe, I think it is important, as you were talking about a role as a team driver, you kind of limit yourself to what kind of brand you're going to push, and stepping outside from that bracket, it might not be for everyone. It's so important to talk like you do and encourage everyone to try it all. You know, don't really get limited to one specific product or brand, because we all have a fleet of trucks. Maybe the next truck, try something else.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
You know what? While you were talking there, something kind of popped out what you said about like my chassis and like getting all the feedback and coming up with, and I want to correct you, excuse me, when you said come up with this perfect chassis. Well, it's not a perfect chassis. This is something that actually works for us, you know, in the type of build that we have going with our Class 2 trucks. And there is other chassis, you know, like from Brazen or you know, Team Garage Hack got the Sherpa and Corrupt Carbon Works. They're all awesome companies, and they have all their own ideas, and they have their drivers that may come up with different ideas than we have and that we're accustomed to, and then they evolve into their chassis and what it looks like and what it can do. Well, and that's great, and that's going to do wonderful, awesome for them. And I've seen some chassis do amazing on course, you know. So I don't mean to correct you, but I'm just going to tell everybody and my followers that we don't believe we have the perfect chassis. This just happens to be working for us from what we had started with. And what we had started with is, you know, that reminds me, it's in arm's reach. Hold on, let me grab this. It's just something that I've never shown anybody on social media. In 2000, I guess into 2014, I think it was 15, I was driving the SCX10, and I was an electrician back then, not knowing anything in design, but just knowing what I wanted the truck to do, you know, thinking basically out of the box of an engineer and just wanting it to do different things. And at that time, actually, Harley, that is with Vanquish, Harley Designs, he, back in some of his old videos, I remember seeing him cut away the front part here of an SCX10, chassis and actually re-weld it so it was up out of the way of the axle for it to come up. Well, and that worked great for him in that build, but there was nothing that was available on the market at the time in 2015 that did that for me and what my liking was. And as my SCX10 would crawl, I would want to have more articulation in the front axle, but what was stopping it was more of the straight stock C-channel chassis. It was like it just wasn't letting it go up. It was more for a scale truck, trail truck, and I was like, you know what, I need more space there, you know. So I tried a couple aftermarket chassis, you know, and at the time there was you know, a few out, and they didn't have the arch that I wanted there. So I ended up you know, going off of the stock chassis for, you know, the dimension from front bumper to back bumper to stick with. And me not having any drawing skills on the computer, I basically got some poster paper and took some pieces of different chassis, and as I screwed them together to make them, you know, work, and I Frankenstein stuff together with shocks to the right angles that I wanted, and I ended up doing a lot of erasing and drawing. But this here is the paper from a long time ago for my kitchen table.
Wow.
That is the original Gspeed version 1. Ended up getting cut out of carbon steel. One of my local friends had a factory that he knew of, and he had an engineer that helped take this image right here. Well, it was a drawing with pencil, and you could see there's a lot of erase marks on here, and, you know, changing things around. And they ended up scanning it and putting it into a CAD program that a local place actually here in the Bay Area called Chassis Unlimited. And they have a big laser cutting table that cuts carbon steel, and they ended up cutting my first carbon steel prototypes, and we ended up putting that together. I think we went through a couple versions right off the start, but we ended up putting the parts from an SCX10 on this chassis, and I ended up my front axle was able to articulate and do what I needed it to do, and this chassis lasted a couple of years. Then we ended up wanting a little different, you know, something a little extra for this chassis. It was like, you know, we want it to be lighter, you know, so we went to a G10 material, and the G10 material worked okay, but in this particular design, this front part right here ended up snapping. And so we ended up just with my ideas, you know, just thinking, well, if it snapped, it needs to be fatter. You know what I mean? That's what I said to a buddy of mine that knew how to draw on the computer. So I said, let's just make that part taller. So anyway, here in pencil is the V2. So we ended up making this part taller, and so the G10 material wouldn't snap anymore. And that worked for, you know, a year or so until I met Christopher Schumann, and he knew a lot more about chassis design than me and who I had helping me. So I collaborated with him, and then we came up with the V3 that did amazing. And here we are with the 4. So that's a little background.
You are failing if that thing is not framed at some point and hanging on a wall. That drawing's priceless.
Yes, it is, and I've been keeping it special, you know. And
I would have that thing framed and hung up there on your wall.
That's good for the shop, you know. Put it right in the shop.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. I think I will frame it.
So just to make sure we can all go back into a replay later, I hope in the video, in the original take, I did put up air quotes when I said perfect. You know, the perfect chassis, understanding what we're trying to work to in this evolution of trying to hone your craft and keep evolving. It's fantastic seeing what you guys doing through the process. And again, full disclosure, we only talked about, you know, as we dropped Hardcore and Team Garage Act, we're name dropping a few highlights. I get that, but it is a tidbit of what you're dealing with on the big scale. I mean, I know what you've done on the hardware side and how you're helping hardware manufacturers or companies, and you're helping so many brands grow as you grow. So you continue to lead the way for everyone. And we thank you for stopping to bring us along on the ride, Gabe, because you've paved the way. through COVID, when things were booming and the hobby life was great, and now we've got to look at 2023 a little bit differently. And I think the hobby budgets have changed for a few people, and how things are going to be navigated in the next year or so. It's going to be a little different, I think, out there. You might see a lot of repurpose builds. People get creative with their RC budget and do things a little bit differently. But the experience, if you are new to the flat rail scene and you have not decided, if you're like on the fence and should I do a flat rail truck, I can vouch and personally tell people, listen, try this with GSPEED first, because you can hold their hand through the process, not of just the chassis. You get to the trans and the links, and before you know it, you have a truck that you don't have to be scared of building, because sometimes a flat rail can be intimidating to people. I tried to build a flat rail early in the days of coming to RC, and that was an epic mistake. I didn't understand enough of, I thought all trucks were the same wheelbase in the beginning. I didn't realize my links were all front and back and mixed up. Like, it was a nightmare. But it is great to know that your Facebook fan page is a kid-friendly zone, PG rated, well policed, there to give support. And that means a lot. And the same thing goes on with the family of vendors that help you. The Team Garage Hack family came to Pennsylvania, to our home state, for a small little event, and it was phenomenal. The way that they worked with people, their customer support and knowledge of the trucks, they were unbelievable. And they had the ability to back up their talk. Like, these guys could drive, and that was fun to watching like a pro level guy that's competing at a national level. Watching these guys drive it's an experience that everybody should witness. They just drive differently. Me with the both eyes closed and full trigger technique doesn't work out there when you're trying to get through gates. It's different, and great job.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely takes the way Team Garage Hack drives. I've said it before, and a lot of people do know, is I've taken, and our team has taken, a lot of inspiration from those guys. And it started with me taking inspiration from them, because I went to nationals in 2019. And actually, I stayed with Christopher Schumann and his whole team in an Airbnb down there in Albuquerque. And I stayed with those guys, and I comped with them. And I was an experienced competition driver, and I mean, I knew how to drive, but just not in that type of setting. Well, at home, they practice in that type of setting. And I learned that after talking to them and hanging out with them at the house and everything. And I left that competition, and I didn't just learn from being at the event and learning, when my truck, was on course of how to go through gates and stuff like that. I was with a team, and I am a Team Garage Hack team driver, and I will be, I don't plan on not being. But I was a team with them, and they took me on just like one of their brothers, and they each treat each other like brothers. And that was the first time I felt accepted like that as a brother, because I've never been in the military, but I mean, I could just imagine, what it feels like to carry on those guys for a while. And I've seen them again at different other times. We've gone to Team Garage Hack's clubhouse, and I've seen those guys again. And it was like we were just hanging out at, nationals in 2019. So I took a lot of inspiration from them, how close knit they were. Heard and watched videos, and mostly, talking to Christopher about how much they practice. And sometimes, some nights they're practicing and they're just doing winch. Every gate will be a winch gate, and they're doing, they're practicing like a pro sports team should. And that's what, if you want to be good, that's what you got to do. So in
that clubhouse, the magic that is happening behind the walls of that clubhouse, it is military like, the discipline. And but it works because
Yes.
when they can bring those techniques out, and I mean, he could coach me along. The way we did this comp with these guys was a two-man team. You went through, you make sure your buddy got behind, no man left behind. The way that they knew how the truck was going to handle it, but that comes from practice.
Yes. Being not only practicing with your truck, but practicing with your guys that are spotting for you, because they know how you drive, and then the other one knows how the other one drives and where you want to be and where you usually have the winch stick. So taking that inspiration from those guys, starting back in 2019 nationals, and then going and doing other comps with them and watching on videos, I took that team mentality and basically brought it back to the Bay Area. And now that our local team guys, that's what we do. So when we go out to practice comp rigs, that's what we're doing. There's times that we're out having fun with our other cheater rigs and stuff, but if we're going to go do gates, we're going to go to a location and there's only going to be just a handful of us. It's not going to be posted on social media, and we got the score pad out, we got the timer out, and you're under that time, and you have a certain amount of time to get through, and we have our bonus gates, and that's how you get good. And now that I have the clubhouse here, the G shop, I'm just so excited about this next year and the courses that we're going to have out here in front of this store, because it is evolving slowly. But here in the last couple of weeks, this course is developed, and we just got some new, big, like 400 or 500 pound rocks that just have these great, contours to them. So it's almost complete. Probably, mid-January, January, we'll have our first little practice, but we're going to end up having a series here. And I know it's going to be bringing people from all over the place. And what we're going to be doing is, practicing right here. We got the winch sticks here. We got the gates here. And it's like, okay, this is the day we're practicing. So that's how we get good. Not only on with our trucks by ourselves, but we're with our team, and and we're watching each other and how their trucks work. And if we need to change some things up on a newer driver's truck, then every secret out of our top drivers goes straight down to the truck that's not doing the best, and we make it do good because we're all team. Yeah,
that's fantastic. And even they're not worried about winning. It was more or less they were sharing
and they want to do better, better than they did the last time. And that's kind of how I see it. It's like, I'm not out here trying to beat all my guys. I kind of got over that a long time ago when I started, my chassis was running on my, friends' trucks out at our local stomping grounds, Rock City. It's like, I began to tell myself, you know what, you don't need to be as competitive as you used to be a long time ago when I was a kid, because they're actually running your stuff. So if they're going to make it and it's on video, that's good for GSPEED and our family and everything working. So I don't compete against our guys. I mean, sure, we have fun winning that pile of cash in our little, small cash comps,
yep.
But we're telling each other what lines we think they should go on, and, helping everybody out along the way, and everybody ends up getting, better together. So
I like the idea of you guys practicing with a judge and practicing with the stopwatch. That type of pressure, that's good practice. Practice, back from the days of golfing, when I used to golf consistently, when I would step up to a driving range, I wouldn't sit out there with a driver, hitting 100 drives with my driver. Right. I would go through the bag. I would hit a drive. Then I would go to a 3-iron, and then I would chip, and literally changing clubs every time on the driving range, because you're trying to get that repetition. And so be smart with your practice. Yes, RC is supposed to be fun, but when you want to practice to get better at gate driving, it's really good to try and practice. What is that right environment? So good for you guys. Those guys from Team Garage Hack left a taste in my mouth that I will never forget, and I can't wait to get out to Colorado to hang in their clubhouse. And watching them on social media, being interactive with the community, getting involved with the Halloween parades and all the stuff. We're excited to get them on the show and give them an opportunity to talk. But It's all there with you, Gabe, at the helm. Congratulations on an amazing 2022.
Thank you.
We all know 2023 is up here, like looking a little iffy. Hobby life, budgets are changing. Do you have anything particular that you're super excited for in 2023 beyond the V4 chassis? Any events that you might be looking forward to that might be new?
Yeah, so one of the things we were waiting for with the new rules to come out was the Class 1 chassis. Class 1, it did have a lot to do with the chassis compared to Class 2. So we got those, we took those parameters that we need to adhere by, and we are in design right now of a new Class 1 chassis that should hopefully be out towards the end of January. And I don't have a lot to say about the design because it's still hush hush, and but it is amazing. I'll say that much. It's different than the class V1 C1 that we've been using, but it is also evolved from that chassis. It's got some changes that we already wanted before the rules came out, and then now has some changes because the rules came out and says we can and can't, do different things. So that's coming out. So I'm pretty excited about that, along with the V4. I know people are going to be building that, and buying it, all year. And like I was saying earlier, the V4 is, we were evolving from our Class 2 truck that most of us are running a forward motor mount, in it. And we're kind of, we were looking at making that particular build better. It happened, not really happened. We also wanted it to be very versatile because that's how Gspeed has been. We want newer drivers to come up, and then also experienced drivers to benefit from a chassis that is real versatile, and you can make it into a really serious comp truck, or you don't have to know all that much, and you can still have a cool trail truck that is going to do fairly good, even though you're not real experience with tuning it and building it how we have our comp truck. So we want it to be versatile for everything, and that's what we wanted with the V4. We have ideas coming up here this year, and was gonna kind of keep it quiet, but just so you know, there is going to be another Gspeed chassis coming out this year too, that is going to be more of a cheater truck and not catered towards the forward motor mount, and it is going to have a forward skid. So everybody knows, because a lot of people were, not a lot of people, there was just a small handful out of the 20,000 followers that we have that come up that were disappointed because the skid wasn't moved forward. But it's whatever. It's just not that type of build. This is a Gspeed evolution from a belly dragger, and it still is. And the skid plate is where it's at because we have certain areas and of room that we wanted for the motor in the forward motor mount, and we think the placement is in this particular type of build perfect for what we want in our Class 2. Now coming forward, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, with the V4 here today, does that mean the V3 is no longer an option? The V2 is no longer an option, or are those still going to be continued to be manufactured also?
Yeah, V3s will be around, and because people are still running them, and so they're not going to be phased out like right away. The V2 was phased out instantly because we just went straight to something that was far superior to what we had in the V2. So that was a little different story. V3 will end up going away because we did evolve from that chassis with small changes to make the V4. So yeah, that will phase out. The new chassis that we are brainstorming and coming up with ideas for will be produced and stick around, as long as the V4 in parallel for a different kind of.
You'll have a Class 1 version, then you'll have this cheater one. Eventually, you'll probably have like 3 of these main chassis that you're working with. Okay. Perfect.
So that's what's coming up with, yeah, product. Got a couple of side things to complement these chassis. We'll come to with other parts that it bolt to them. And oh, I do have the new GLD. This is a prototype right here. So this is a lay down servo mount that we've had already. This is actually a different design that we got. This design now, the servo can be mounted behind the tabs or in front. So if you have a longer front links and a longer wheelbase like the G-Shot, and you want to use it as a class 3 and you want to run a panhard and chassis mounted servo, then you would run it up here in front. But if you're running AR-45s, you want to run it in the back. So compared to the other GLD, it is flat on the back rather than curved on the back. So it's flat, and then you can't see it, but behind there's a cross member that is going to allow you to run when you don't run a forward motor mount, you can run a winch right behind the front servo.
Okay.
You're going to be able to bolt to it. So right now I'm getting prototypes made of that right now. So that'll be available probably into January.
So the servo winch will be almost right behind that then?
Right behind it. Yeah. So servo winch is going to bolt to the cross member underneath that servo. It's going to have holes in it.
That's what I was eyeballing. I'm like trying to figure out where your servo winch was at. And
okay. Well, this particular class 2 doesn't have a servo winch anywhere here because of the forward motor mount is there.
Okay.
We use the GWM, which is the winch mount. It's a carbon fiber piece that either mounts on the chassis rail anywhere, and it holds the servo winch sideways. And my particular one I have in the G-Bug is mounts back here, and these V4 chassis rails already have the holes so the servo winch mount can mount to it. That's in back along the rails. So that's what we got for what I can say about parts. Going into different events, sure we haven't heard what's going on with nationals yet, but I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of drivers competing in nationals when it comes. We do have a trip, I believe it's in March. We're going back like we did last year to the Hawaiian festival, Crawler Festival. We're going to go back to see our brothers over there on Oahu, and this year we're staying a little longer. Me and my team will be there for a week, Monday to Monday, and do some other things along with crawling also. So taking GSPEED and Hardcore RC, and I think Tom Asher, I think he's going also. And then we got some other people coming from California too that now got inspired by us, just, doing what we love and are able to make it work too. So going to Hawaii. Yep. And then, yeah, there's our normal events we usually do. Hopefully ASD crawl is going to go on again, which I think they did pick a date. So we'll be there again to Autism Awareness Crawl. We'll be back to Axial Fest again here in California. It'll be up at Rob's Resort again. And then, like I said, we're going to have a comp series here in the Bay Area, take it to the top comps. And that's going to be sponsored by Gspeedchassis and Hardcore RC. So got a lot of stuff. And then on top of that, on the side, which you've seen and some people have seen that I've been posting on social media, is I, at the beginning of this year, basically identified myself as an ultra runner. And now I'm racing and training and, up early when it's dark and doing what it takes to stay fit. And I am signed up for, well, I had my first 30K that I did a couple months ago. And then I did my first 50K, which is the Golden Gate Classic, which starts in San Francisco, goes over the Golden Gate Bridge into the Marin Headlands, and then ends up coming back to Crissy Fields in San Francisco. That was amazing. I mean, to be able to mentally, push yourself to find your limits is, I've found to be very addictive.
50K.
It's working.
Wow. 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 Wow.
So
good for you.
Signed up for another 50K. It's going to be a tough one. I've never ran up in the Sierras, but this one is up. It's called Canyons, and it's up in the Sierra Nevadas, and it's got a lot of elevation gain, and that is coming up here in April or May. I don't have my calendar. And then another one I'm signed up for is called the American River Classic, which is my first 50-mile race, and it starts at Lake Folsom and takes you up around the foothills of there, and then goes around Lake Folsom, that's up near Sacramento, and then ends up taking you up to Auburn, California. So that's what I got on my books, and I'm signed up, and it's what I'm training for, and it's in my vision of taking care of myself, and I'm hoping some people get inspired and get off the couch and keep themselves happy and do things like just get out of their comfort zone. That's what I did a while ago, and now I get a little uncomfortable, but once you get over those uncomfortable humps, you just have a sense of satisfaction and sense of accomplishment that just drives you to do better. And that's what I'm doing. I want to drive you to do better. Yeah.
Good for you. Your words resonate, man. Just to push a little harder. And sometimes it's as simple as an extra lap around the block when you're walking the dog. We're not asking you to do 50-mile runs like this animal.
No.
Like, just sometimes it's that extra, instead of the elevator, take the steps. It's those little things. Motivate yourself, get yourself out of the comfort zone. And I think you have this discipline, inner, outer, that makes this whole person. And look what happens when you're firing on all cylinders. It shows. Good things come, to hard work. So you've been a great inspiration to many, Gabe, and I wish you nothing but great success in 2023. And I can't thank you enough for joining us on our New Year's Eve special. And we can't look forward to a great year with you. And I hope our paths cross somewhere out on the trail this year, my friend.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get out to California and come to the G Shop, and I'd have you here, and I'll stop what I'm doing and get some people over, and we'll have a good time. And I'll take you up to our stomping grounds, Rock City, that, you guys have seen videos of there. It's amazing.
I know Skittles is pushing us hard. She's not taking no for an answer. And
yes, we'll be out there. We'll be out there soon. Trust me.
ASD crawl or something. We're going to find a way.
Right on. Yeah.
Gabe, I'm going to salute you, and it's not goodbye. It's till then. And thank you.
Right. Thank you guys for having me, and you guys have a good one, and good luck in this year coming up in 2023, because everybody's going to do good. I feel it.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right.
Peter, you can learn a lot from that guy, Pete, on all levels. Just Gabriel, one of the good guys. I'm speechless. I'm almost a little choked up, man. Like, God damn.
But one of the good things, like we talked about the first time he came on the show, you see the fans page, and I keep an eye on it, like when newbies, and the thing that gets me is like when newbies have a question in his page, either himself or his team, his disciplined team drivers, somebody respects the question and helps them because they realize that they were there once too. It's not one of those forums where, I was reading today, all these wild ass answers, and, they're there to help people grow in the hobby.
Oh,
the discipline shows with his team and his people and his followers. It's a great organization, hands down. I mean,
honestly, people will know you get locked into Facebook, into some of these wrong forums where you're just going to get eaten alive. They're coming out guns blazing on you. We're going to light you up if you, some of the questions are retarded, like really out of bounds, just bad questions. I get it. People, do not go on Facebook and ask people what servo to run. You are lighting fires. People, do not go on Facebook and ask what tires should I run. Like, these are fire starters. You're going to get the same people, same brand ambassadors coming in, defending their servo that they support. That is not productive social media avenue for anyone. If you want to know
the number one post, what I'm new to the hobby. What
servo? You're lighting.
Now, I get it if you're new.
But we all learned the same way. We all had to ask a buddy. We all did a Google search. There's plenty of YouTube content out there with great breakdowns. RC Car Action does a review every month on a servo. You are going to find a servo that will work for you. I promise you.
The one thing about GSPEED is when you have that type of discipline and you have that type of team drivers that really support the brand and believe in it like Gabe does, it shows on social media. You got positivity. You got drivers at events that speak highly of the brand, that don't talk down, that don't bash other brands. So that puts together a well-run organization, well-oiled machine.
Listen, we are a small group of men in this hobby. This hobby is not a lot of us. It's not big. It's a small hobby life. It's got to be a brotherhood for everyone. We need to all feel a part of something. We all need to be supportive. This is like a jealous-free zone. There's nothing to be jealous of. It's a toy truck. Get out there and have fun with your toy truck, period. Like, beyond that, help your buddy, tell a friend. It will make social media so much better. I'm telling you, the nonsense that I deal with on a daily, talking with people, it all stems from social media. Someone posted this, I read this, listen, social media needs to be a part of our hobby, and I get it. I get it. I know why it has to be here, but we could make social media better if we all respected each other a little bit more. I'm not going to say there is no such thing as a dumb question, but there are questions out there that don't make sense in that environment. There are questions that maybe you could have messaged privately to someone, but opinion questions are not helpful.
It stems from the mentality. Like today, I'm in the FMS forum, and a guy posts an Axial 24.
Oh. Okay.
Like, I'm going to start working on this because of this, and it's like, you talk about these fire starters, and it's like, why, it's comical, but it goes to the mentality of the person. You look at these people, the way they write, and it's not that level of professionalism in the hobby that you even want to get involved in,
Listen,
but,
I mean, if I could cut social media out of my life 100%, I would do it tomorrow. Like, I'd do it today if I could.
But, everybody that watches the show and that's watching now, that's still here, it's a new year, it's coming into positivity. People can make the change. People can help people. Hey, listen, we were all newbies once, right?
Yep.
We were all there. We didn't know anything. Hey, listen, when I got back into the hobby, I met you, I met Jeremy, I built my first team garage hack Sherpa with knowledge from you, you guys, you handed down what and that's the way it should be. That's the way I look at the hobby. And, you learn and you hand your knowledge down, you don't wave 10,000 flags and
listen,
flex,
And we don't have much to hand down. I mean, I'm learning every day of my life, learning something new. And that's what your passion should be. Every day in this RC hobby is learn something new. Is it going to be playing with new shock oils today? Are you going to be trying to play with new springs, different shock lengths, or rod lengths? Right now, my passion for RC is right here. I'm going to pull it out without breaking everything down. I kind of break it all here. I am a painter, dude. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 air guns lined up back here behind the scene, bro.
I was in Hobby Lobby today. I just
got a new air compressor, a brand new air compressor yesterday. 6 new guns. I am out here airbrushing anything that stands still longer than 5 minutes. I'm out here hitting it again and again. But it's about me trying to put wind back in my sails and learn something new. I'm learning about paint and how to fine tune your technique. And it's all a matter of preference. Like, you're your toughest critic. So just get out there and enjoy it. Bang away on a piece of paper, practice airbrushing, but we're all new. We're all just here to have fun, and we need to be an avenue of just letting people, ask questions, laugh, and have fun. And if you're not having fun in this hobby, I don't know why you're here. And
at the end of the day, like you said, and Skittles just mentioned, at the end of the day, it's a toy.
It's a toy truck, people. We're here playing with toy trucks. Now we're all doing fun stuff with toy trucks. We're all doing fun stuff with toy trucks. So hang on. Let's talk about something fun right here. Real sticky, came through real big here with a little swag. So hang on. You ready for the new jacket? It's a Sherpa hoodie with the red logo on it. Can you see on the back row? It came out great. I'm doing this, and then we got a crest on the above the chest here. It's got a crest on the front. Hang on, I'll do my best here. There's one on the front above the heart. New apparel, but wait, that's not the magic. Let me turn this around here. The spare tire cover. Look at that. How cool is that?
Those came out great.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and you got stickers, you got banners. That's all good stuff for USDE for sure.
Now, one of the cool things that we can get at Rebel is the canopy tent, and we put the Rad logo on the canopy tent. This will be going off of the RebelCon, but flexing a Rad Show logo on there, all direct to garment pressed, heat pressed on. We just been having fun getting the Rad Show logo out there to people, sharing our adventure with you. It's seen through our lens. It can't be any simpler. We hope that the Rad Show has been a great experience for you all during 2022. I know Peter, selling backpacks on a daily. It is my daily grind every day. It is my great pleasure to work with the RC community 10, 12 hours a day selling backpacks for the RC community. But we meet new people along the way. We'll call them noobs that have said, hey, I just got my first RC car. I've just heard about Carryall. You know what we do now? We send them right to the Rad Show. Go right to Rad RC Show on YouTube. Start at the beginning and follow our journey, because it's going to give you a crash course into the world of RC. You are going to meet vendors that we support. We are going to talk about experiences, events that you could attend, brands. I mean, the CowRc one that we did with Tyler was freaking awesome. Like going through with the products and talking about all the cool stuff out there. Like, that's a great time. It's a very useful show. Meeting somebody like a James Knight. When's the last time you get to hear his voice, see his face? Meeting Brad Gack and Scale by Chris. Like, we had an amazing year, and I'm so excited for 2023. The Rad Show has so many more fun people for you to meet and hang out with, and we encourage you to hang out with us live and reap the benefits of a surprise discount code, or watch it during the week when the majority of the people are doing it on the ride to work or while they're at work, putting it also on in the background. But you meet Judd Rummage from JRC, from RC Prorack and Powerhobby servos and tools. And we talk about it, all the things that we love to use and support have been here. And we look forward to working with them in 2023. What do you think, Pete? I know we want to talk about Rebel a little bit, but you got any closing words of inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great year. I mean, I know we started, for the people that have been watching the show from the beginning, Mike, if you remember, I remember one of our first lives. I think you were on vacation and we did Facebook Live. And before we went to the Zoom platform, Facebook Live can only do so much. I mean, Mike and I started this just as a gimmick. We got together twice, and then somebody, I remember somebody said, why don't you keep going and try to get some guests on? And, we went to Zoom, and we're working on some more advanced software that I'm learning. And, it just spiraled from there. And, we got a lot of guests lined up
with our road to USTE. I think was a lot of the inspiration, if I remember correctly, was, let's talk about how we pack our bags. How do we get through the airline? What was our process of packing LiPo batteries, getting on the airplane? Like, that was some of the cutting edge new things that we felt was important to share with people.
That was a good segment.
And And again, we are not experts. Like, this has nothing to do with being an expert. And I am not talking down to a one of you. 99% of the stuff that we are sharing with you, it's through our guests that we are learning with them along the way. And again, we're not driving opinions down your throat. We're not force feeding you anything that you don't want to buy. It's just, hopefully we are learning together. Because
Yeah.
Lord knows I don't know it all.
Yeah, and it's been a good year. I mean, we made a lot of strides. You know, we still got contests going on. Like Mike said, we got real sticky merchandise for 2023, scale banners, stickers. We got a lot coming down the pipe, and it's only going to get better. And, you know, this was an interesting week. You know, we had the holiday. People went back to work. I don't know if you could see, Mike, over my shoulder was my Christmas gift here.
Oh, I
So-
know.
So I told you I was getting no more micros. I was
love
done
it.
with micros,
Yep.
and then this shows up. So to top off my year, I think I got about 13 micros now, which I said, you know, I wasn't buying anymore. And then, you know, ran into this thing. You know,
Yeah.
this thing's my favorite. You know, this has been a joy to work on. All trailed out. So yeah, it's been an interesting year, Mike. I mean, you know, the amount of trucks and collaboration projects and product. Look how many trucks dropped this year. I mean, yeah, the Trail Red looks great on that. You know, from servo companies, battery. I mean, you know, the SCX6. You know, you look back and rewind. Think about it tonight. Everybody that's watching before the ball, think about all the RC drops this year and collaborations and how FMS blew up in the 24. And I mean, it's just been a wild year. I mean,
this is it. 2023. Well, going into 2023. I mean, this is what I'm looking forward to, is more of this. Like, bro, hands down, this is my favorite truck of 2022 right here. No questions asked. The RC hobby needed a monster truck micro. Now I am looking forward to RC supremacy and learning about micro drifting cars, and
that's a whole nother level.
And then today, out of all things, I get a private message today in my Instagram from my company flying here to the United States that will be at USTE. And I'm not even going to name drop them. I'm not telling anybody there. All I'm going to simply tell you is USTE just got freaking awesome. And they're like, we cannot wait to sit down and share our first beer with you. And I'm like, I will buy. I am buying the first round. I can't wait to meet them. And I will be coming home from a USTE now with a separate crate of stuff that I need to fly home, because I'm so excited to meet these people. So just let me be that freaking cryptic, because if everything works out all right, they're in Spain and the time differences are going to be a little shady, but they need to be on the Rad Show talking about the hype leading up to USTE and the display setup that they bring. Oh my goodness gracious, they need to come on here so we can all collaborate together, so we know what trucks we need to bring to USTE to play in their playground, because they're bringing cool stuff. I can't wait. Today changed my life. When I woke up and got that message from them, I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
I'm that stoked, dude. It's gonna be good. So here we are, bro. Like 2023, we are starting the year off right. RC Car Action dropped yesterday, so I talked to the guys at RC Car Action. They said no go. You cannot show the cover. You can't open the page. You can say you got it, but that's it until tomorrow. We can do a sneak peek of it. We're going to start the year off right for Carryall. There's a nice little spotlight on the sling bag. Thank you, Peter, for bringing that up earlier. That was one of the new product drops for Carryall, was doing the sling bag. So that was super exciting for us. It makes a whole lot of sense. And the future really is in a sling bag. That simple little shoulder drop, take a controller, a micro if you want it, a tool bag and an extra battery, a water bottle. It's got everything you need that's really the future. I think right now, you know, not these full long day carries with a backpack. Sure, if you're traveling, it makes sense, but I'm telling you, sling bags are where it's at. And we're excited to be, you know, really pushing them right now. It's been an exciting year, Peter.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm looking at my my sling bag, and that was a great product enhancement. And I think it's simplicity. I mean, the V2 carryall was good. It's got lots of storage space for those long treks, but you know, the sling bag is just like tomorrow, I'll probably bring my sling bag when I go out. It's gonna be
Yep.
55 degrees,
Yep.
perfect for a couple hours. Have all the tools. But before we forget, I mean,
Yes.
we
Go.
go back to Rebel, right? We
Yes.
press
Perfect.
rewind here.
Thank you.
Now, when the Rebel Con came out, you know, people were skeptical. People, you know, were what is this? Another Jeep? And you know, we've been talking about it. We got it. I remember the day I tracked it all the way. I called you up. I think it was Thanksgiving. I said, "Oh man, it's sitting on my doorstep. I'm in New York City." And I got home, that thing was on the doorstep, opened it up, blew me away. Still my favorite truck. I mean, still to this day, I mean, it's just some truck. And you know, a lot of people think that, you know, the Rebel site is just the truck. I mean, you know, I mean, I'm going to bring up their site, but you know, you go on their site, they have everything. I mean, it's so much more than just the Rebel.
Rebel RC is a platform, a one-stop shop to get many products right now. He carries Element and Vanquish and a ton of products. Rebel RC needs to be ingrained into your head. More than just the RebelCon. So very well said, Peter. That's exactly what's very cool about Rebel RC, and he does a great job over there. Adding tools now, Pete. The Vanquish wheels. There's so many cool opportunities supporting Element and all the other brands. It's great. And Jeff Johns, the owner of Element, he couldn't be with us tonight. He messaged us earlier this morning to wish us a great show and a happy new year. He will be back with us again very soon. He will be at USTE, so we have some coordinating to do. We'll have plenty to discuss and hang out with him in next month at USTE, but we're excited to be able to continue to work with him and support the Rebel truck, Rebel Con. Yeah, Peter, now I don't know if you can find one anywhere. Does Jeff have any photos of the new body at all up there? That's really what I wanted to find tonight, was a body. But Peter, I recognize that Rebel.
Yeah, right.
Is that yours?
Yeah,
I saw one.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I think what was it? Fish and Bill that had the blue one.
Yeah.
Now everybody says Team Orange, but
yeah,
you know, I will say the Matt takes some sharp photos. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean,
absolutely.
It's just
they all look great. They all have their benefit. Hey, there was mine. There was mine in the sand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so Fish and Bill had a blue one.
Yeah,
and
they got the blue.
And I didn't even know that there was a blue option.
Yes,
and,
that's what I'm excited to show here is
these colors. It's right here.
Okay.
So 59 is the body.
We got a white one. I see white, a blue. What else we got? Scroll down there. A red one, a green one.
Military green.
Oh, the graphite. That's probably that flat gray that's out now. And then the orange. Okay. Very cool.
So he definitely stepped it up with those new colors, and
absolutely
might have to get a blue body. Why not?
Yeah, I think we were talking about earlier today. I said, Jeff, you know what? If I'm bringing the RebelCon back to USTE, I think I'm going to buy up a new body. I'm going to purchase a new body from the site and just do a simple color change. Everything bolts over. Just buy his. The injection molded parts just bolt right over. Makes it very easy.
Yeah, it's a great site, great customer service. so much more than just the Rebelcon. You could buy anything off here.
Absolutely.
And it's got 20% off, free shipping, 50 plus. Yeah, so definitely check out, Rebel, or and you know what's good too is the scale accessories too.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of Scale by Chris stuff. There's the awning that you're crazy about.
Yep.
Um,
Exclusive RC and all these brands, things that you don't normally see all the time. Jeff does a great job trying to bring some of the product all to one-stop shopping, and very well priced, and yeah, fan freaking tastic. I'm excited to redo the Rebelcon and freshen it up for 2023, and it doesn't need much other than that. It's a great trail truck right out of the box. So hands down, very cool, very exciting. Great looking truck. Yeah, Pete, I think it's on us right now I think we need to drop our graphite bodies for 2023. Pick a color. I'm going to go back and look at them. I know I don't want to do white. I'm going to have to look at the colors. Maybe red. I don't know. Nothing jumped out at me. Maybe a green. I'm not sure yet. But right now I'm stoked about the Night Runner. That's the project right now that's on my workbench, is getting this Night Runner up and running, working with Club 5 Racing to try and come up with a couple of bolt-on add-on pieces to dress it up, and use the Knight's Customs interior that will round out this Night Runner.
you like my guy?
Let me see him. Oh, nice.
I needed a driver in the Phoenix.
In the Phoenix. Okay, roger that.
So
all right, Pete.
Yeah. So we gotta, it's been a good year, man. Great year.
100%, bro. I can't thank you enough, Peter, for joining us on New Year's Eve. We took a gamble. We said, is this going to be the night? Should we do it? Should we not? It's Saturday. We had to be here. Why not kick it off right? Let's get our wheels loosened up and, get out there and watch the ball drop. Like I said, I'm ready to eat some seafood, man.
I'm hungry, but
I got little neck clams and some crab legs to eat.
And what a way to end the year with Gabe. I mean, product drop, great company, great people, great drivers. Definitely ended my RC year. Words
of inspiration, like beyond the RC world, like for him to push you and give you that dare to say, get out there and push yourself a little bit harder than you did today. For me personally, what I'm relating to is an extra lap around the block with the dog. That might help, shed a couple pounds, help with the endurance. All that stuff is just being a better human. So my dare to everybody right now, 2023, be a better human, period. That's all you got to do. Think twice before you go on social media and type like an idiot with your thumbs, and be a better human. That's my dare.
Just don't worry about the food till tomorrow. Go get those crab legs.
2023, bro. I am so pumped, man. There's some good stuff happening. We'll continue to support the brands and look forward to see what's going to happen, man. We're here to enjoy the ride of what is going to be next. Is it a new truck? Is it a new part? There's never a dull moment in this hobby, bro. There is never a dull moment. Tied into all the man drama, never a dull moment here.
You got that right. Well, I hope everybody has a good new year from both of us at the Rad Show. Thanks for tuning in, and go enjoy your families. Northeast going to be nice tomorrow. Get some wheel time in, extended
100%.
weekend, and look for us next week. We'll have a guest lined up, and we'll post the replay tomorrow. And everybody have a good end to 2022. We'll send it out.
Happy New Year.
Take care.
Thank you, Peter.